Hello, and welcome to yet another evening of the late night scaries. I just love being scared. And can you believe that there's a show every night at 10 p.m.? You can check more information on latenightscariesfest.com. This month, we have been digging up monsters, demons, and bringing back ghosts from the beyond. And we have a very special show for you tonight. This ghost comes to us from 1895. We have the one and the only, the Lady Gwendolyn Williams Smythe, and she is here tonight to help you with the problems. Her radio show, Enter the Darkness, is just the help you need in your human life from the great beyond.
Hello, and thank you. I am here, the Lady Gwendolyn Williams Smythe, to answer all of your very human problems, because I am very, very dead. I've been dead for over 120 years. What's your problem today? My first caller will be joining us momentarily, and hopefully you can use the insight of their tortured life to help yourself, to surpass, to transcend, to survive. Caller, are you there? Hello? Hello, caller.
Oh, Lady Gwendolyn. Hello. Ah. I've never seen a spirit before. Please
Hello
excuse my
there.
behavior.
May I call you Bernard?
But Bernard is fine. Or Bernie if you prefer. Bernard.
Oh, could we be so familiar as to me calling you Bernie, perchance at the end of our call? What is troubling your spirit tonight, Bernard?
Oh, Lady Gwendolyn. It is my parents. My parents, they ask for grandchildren. However, the missus and I have tried, and well, between you and me, I do not want children.
Oh, what a terrible thing it is when free will interferes with the universe, and when the universe interferes with free will. If you do not want children, then you should not have them.
Oh, one must honor one's parents.
Up until a point, I believe it is said. For example, up to a point, we were right to enter the war in the Crimea, but up until a point, we should have been more circumspect. If you and your good lady wife do not wish to reproduce, then you shan't reproduce.
Oh, I do not know how I'll tell my parents, but my confidence was renewed.
Tell them, and perchance consult the consults of some quack doctor, that you are incapable.
Oh,
Or
no.
hold a seance and say that grandmama has willed that you do not pass on the family line.
Oh, fantastic ideas. Thank you, Lady Gwendolyn.
It's always okay to lie to protect one's happiness.
Oh, had I known that when I was young.
Had you known that, would we had all known that, would I had known that, would I live? But I did not.
Oh, well, then I'm blessed that I know it while I am alive.
Yes, Bernard, go forth, be fruitful, and do not multiply.
Thank you, Lady Gwendolyn.
You're welcome, Bernie, my new dear friend. You see, when one does not produce progeny, one is liberated to live one's life according to one's own standards of happiness. Think of reading an entire novel front to back cover and never pausing to clean up vomit from the floor or to answer a caterwauling scream from the other side of the house. Is something broken? Has someone died? Will the child survive to adulthood? You need not worry if you do not reproduce. Our next caller will be along momentarily, but I would just like to bring to your attention our sponsor this week is Dr. Robinson's phosphate tablets. They are the most refreshing phosphorescent tablet guaranteed to bring you vivacious vitality by the glass, and they're only mildly carcinogenic. Yes, they will pep you up when you are down. Phosphorus. Our next caller joins us in just one moment. I was thinking this week, if I could have more free time to do sport, I of course would not because of my delicate nature, and horseback riding is terribly dangerous, and tennis makes one terribly unfeminine. But if I did do sport, I would take.
Gwendolyn,
Yes, I have a caller.
Gwendolyn,
Who's
oh,
there?
Gwendolyn,
Oh my.
Gwendolyn, Gwendolyn. My name is Yema, and I was recently drowned by my parents.
Drowned? You mean you
Drowned?
were murdered?
Well, it was my parents.
How terribly interesting. A little bit of infanticide to add some spice to the evening.
I am a new spirit to this world, and I'm confused. I am scared.
You
You've
have
been dead over 100 years.
You have so much to learn. First of all, just because you're invited to an afterward cocktail party does not mean you need to make conversation with people who do not interest you.
All right.
You do not have to do anything you don't wish to do. And because you were murdered, you may do as you wish for at least
Oh,
3 centuries before you are judged.
oh, well, then I shall haunt my parents.
I believe that is your unfinished business, as we used to say.
Thank you, Gwendolyn. Thank you.
Now
Thank you.
remember, there's
Oh,
nothing so creepy as a small child's hand coming through the wallpaper when one
oh,
is sitting and reading in the evening.
haha. I will take that under advisement. Thank you so much.
High-pitched screams, yes.
Thank
Happy
you.
haunting,
Thank
dear.
you. Thank
Happy
you.
haunting,
Thank
yes.
you.
Not everyone is suited to be an afterworld spirit, but this one surely shows potential. And should Yemma come back, of course I would honor her with my mentoring services. My next caller will be along momentarily. I remember when I used to haunt people when I first crossed over. I wasn't sure exactly what my purpose would be, but a mere 20 years after I died, the rage across all of Europe and America was seances. I knocked on the underside of many a table in my day, I can tell you. Knocked twice for yes, and once for no. That was me most of the time. Next caller, are you there? Is anyone there?
I am here. 'Tis I, Chester Cowatha. Greetings.
Greetings, Chester. Not usually visited by maritime spirits.
Oh,
Do tell me your frustrations and tribulations.
I am a captain, as you can see. However, the maritime business has been slow, and I'm looking into options. And people
Options.
suggest a themed cruise. That is to say, use my boat not for transporting cargo from one destination to the next, but to take people with a theme and go in circles in the water and return to where I began.
Well, as I said during my first transatlantic crossing in 1891, ahoy! Just because one does not reach a destination does not make the journey
Hmm.
less than worthwhile. And if
But
it could be lucrative to your fortune, I do suggest you capitalize on the market and do what it dictates.
in my mind, I'm only paid when I deliver the cargo. How can I deliver someone where they started? What kind of
I,
world is that?
I suggest you have one port for pickup and another port for delivery.
Ah, aha, adjacent ports.
Yes, they might even be across the same estuary.
Oh, oh, lady, you are a blessing to
Oh,
the land
Captain,
and the sea.
oh, you're too kind. What would be one of the themes for your circa your cruises?
Well, some suggest love, some suggest All Hallows Eve.
I suggest you combine the two. There is nothing so mysterious as death to the living.
And there's nothing so scary to the heart as love itself.
There's nothing more terrifying than falling in love.
Oh, I
Do you
shall
know that
name
all?
my next ship after you.
Oh my heavens. Well, let me know when you baptize her, and I hope that you don't capsize her.
Thank you, lady.
You're most welcome, matey. Oh, remember sailors? Yes, I'm afraid I do. Well, thank you so much, listeners, for coming to my airwaves this evening. There's so many more messages of hope and despair to be shared this evening. I want to remind you of a caller last week who had been seeking vengeance on the person that had murdered them, their old business partner. And by nature, they were not successful in life, nor were they successful in death. More to be said on that later. If you are listening to our recap and you follow our RSS feed on Radio DED Dead, our next caller will be along shortly. But I would remind you, if seeking vengeance from beyond the grave, to plan ahead and create a spreadsheet so that one knows exactly where one's vengeance should be plotted. Lest one forget a crucial detail like. Oh my, what otherworldly sounds are coming across the channel? A snarling sound.
Lady Gwendolyn Williams Smythe.
Hello, creature.
I am Rex.
Yes, Mex Rexeram Admirabilis. Interesting. You are so toothy for a guest on this show.
Thank you. Thank you. I stand taller than the Eiffel Tower. And yet, people scare me.
You are scared of humans, even though
I,
you are an otherworldly demon.
I feel I'm putting on a show every time I emerge from the water. There are expectations. And I create such a ruckus that thousands, if not millions, of people are aware of me. And
Well,
my heart would break should I disappoint even one of them.
I love how honoring your public you are. And one is a performance artist like yourself. One should never disappoint one's public. But living up to one's own expectations can be a burden.
Yes, yes. When all those eyes on me,
Well,
it,
the
it
eyes that
puts
aren't
me in my
terribly
own,
screaming and crying.
oh, screaming, crying, taking pictures. What if they get my bad side? Do I
Yeah,
want that on the front of tomorrow's paper? No.
I don't think you have a bad side. Let me see the left in silhouette.
Oh,
And now the right.
oh,
You are a most symmetrical monster.
oh, thank you.
I think any portrait of you should be quite flattering. In fact, I should have a cameo made of you. You're that handsome.
Oh, well, thank you.
Now, Rex, what city will you be terrorizing next?
Oh, I hate to spoil a surprise.
Oh, you are a true showman, indeed. Could you tell us about one of your recent successes?
Well, uh, uh, have you ever heard of Dubuques, South Carolina?
No, the New World. My goodness, how terrifying.
Well, and now you won't.
Oh, seriously.
Oh, thank you. You've boosted my confidence.
That's so delightful. Don't forget to take care of that fearsome smile, Rex. You are a real charmer.
See you soon.
Yes, indeed. As you can see, once again, we've been graced with a non-human guest with a very non-human problem. And only creatures that have transcended this world can truly surpass the need for hubris. The most important thing is to know one's own capacity. If one can terrorize and scare and ransack a town, then one shall. Why not? You'll reach one's full potential. It's called self actualization. And it's not just for human beings, it's also for deep sea creatures with fearsome, toothy, bloody smiles. Yes. Rex, indeed, what a king! What a king he is. A prince among men, I should say. I hope to hear from Rex in the coming weeks, instead of more whiny ghost children. No disrespect to our earlier guests. The novices always get to me a little bit. The other day, I was just wandering around the graveyard and I was very disturbed at the very garish tombstones. They just don't put the amount of effort into the tombstones they used to. The inscriptions also include lyrics to rap songs and photographs. Very modern, contemptible even, but I am 125 years dead. I suppose we have another caller coming in on one of the lines in a moment. Uh, but perchance if you would like to call. Oh,
Oh,
hello, caller.
oh, there's my good side. Hello, I'm Paolo. Um, uh, long time listener, first time caller. Um,
Delightful.
uh, I'm throwing a party, and if you'll pardon the expression, lady, if you'll pardon the expression, it is dead. It is dying. The party is just dying. Just figuratively, but there's talk about people going home, and we're only 45 minutes in, and well, I'm sure you can see the bind I'm in.
Well, why is it a bad, unsuccessful party if the energy is low? Perhaps it is a more sedate and morbid affair.
Oh, no, people are bored. People are bored. Uh,
Boredom.
I have finger foods. There's candies. There's Tens wines. I have board games. I have Twister.
You
Oh,
have prepared excessively, my friend
oh,
Palo.
oh yes.
Do you have any, shall we say, recreational substances like
Oh,
chocolate and wine?
well, yeah. There's wine. There's the candy.
Well,
Um.
that's all the Romans needed was sweetmeats and wine. If you can't manage a bacchanal with that, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I was hoping to get more help than
Well,
criticism.
I shall. I mean, I suppose that you could bring in one of those party games where you get people to confess their deepest, darkest secrets. There's nothing people want so badly as to reveal themselves. And
Oh,
every fear conceals a wish. If you
oh.
scare them, you will realize who they truly are.
Well, that's fantastic. Every fear conceals a wish.
Indeed.
I'm gonna get that tattooed somewhere.
You should. You should put it on a banner and you should tell them all, you know what one of them did last winter. And that slowly throughout the evening reveal clues that apply to almost everyone. You have a secret. There's something you aren't telling everyone. Not
Oh,
everyone knows who you really are. And your biggest fear is being discovered. It's everyone's greatest fear.
oh, oh, that's fantastic.
And once they're all on tenterhooks and very nervous, tell them the building is haunted. And if they don't believe you, scare the bejesus out of them.
Oh, this is
And,
great.
and then Twister.
And
Yes?
and then Twister.
And then Twister and have them tangled in knots inside and out.
All right. I will go out there and I will make vague threats about revealing secrets that perhaps I do not actually have, and then we'll start games.
It's the only way to exorcise the demon of boredom.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. You're
Thank
very
you.
welcome, my dear Palo. Do you
Hey
know the
everyone! It's time for some naked Twister!
word? Just like Paris in the springtime. You know, the word boredom was invented by the author Charles Dickens to describe a world or kingdom in which boredom reigns supreme. You know, that's very easy for authors to do. Just invent a new word, and if someone else uses it, they will presume it existed ever. Ever and henceforth into the future, stretching out into a plane of infinity that one sees no bounds to. Anyway, it's approaching the season of All Hallows Eve, and if you have not planned a costume, I highly suggest you look in the back of your closet because there's always a garment or two that one has underestimated. Maybe even one that's not entirely flattering to yourself, but should be flattering to you should you adopt an alias, a personality. If you're not sure which personality to adopt, pick someone you hate and represent them. There's no other revenge to be had than play acting. I believe we have one or two other callers on the line that have been lingering and languishing and yearning for help from the great beyond. I am a little bit petulant this evening and perhaps a little bit intoxicated, not on alcohol, but on the heady aromas of human suffering.
Gwendolyn!
Yes.
Gwendolyn!
Hello.
Surprised to see me?
Of course, I'm very surprised to see you.
Who would have thought that you'd see your sister again after 111 years?
I know. I was really hoping that we would never have to do our double act again.
Oh, that's not why I'm here. I'm here because
No?
you left me behind.
Well, of course I did. I died first. I got in, as it were.
You think I can forgive that?
Did I upstage you by doing so?
You were all I had in the living world. I lived another 75 years without my sister.
Oh, how dreadful. You died so old.
Some might say I lived a full life, but I didn't.
Yes, but I was mourned as a young death. I mean, you see
Oh,
what I'm saying?
yes, yes. Your portrait, was above the fireplace for those 75 years.
Really?
Because
So
I
you,
was still alive, and it is in bad taste to depict. My candle's gone out. My time is fleeting.
is it now?
I want you
What?
to know that I do not forgive you. And
Oh, but I so want your forgiveness. I really care. I really, really care. That was
I
sarcasm.
will call back every week until it gets down into your very soul or whatever it is that's left.
You
That
know,
you have a
Gwendolyn,
sister.
Gwendolyn, dearest sister mine, I don't know what your purpose is in trying to haunt someone who's been haunting for 3 times the time you have, but indeed I shall persist in being indifferent to your beguiling charms. What is that?
It's fire. I've been practicing. I'm not great at it yet, but I'm practicing.
Conjuring a flame?
There.
My goodness.
Scared?
I'm a little scared because I wouldn't put arson past your machinations.
I wouldn't either, dear sister.
Just don't burn anything that's a historical landmark, dear Gwendolyn. Was always the creepy sister.
We shall see. Until next week, sister.
Until next time, yes, please, by all means, clutter up my airwaves with your nonsensical meanderings. Sorry, that was my dearest, much elder sister, who has passed on slightly betimes, and she apparently lived through 2 world wars and 1 World Cup, and that apparently wasn't enough for her. She has to keep persisting throughout all of history, even though she clearly has no unfinished business. 4.5 husbands later, and too many children to count. I have one more caller on the line. This is a very important call, not because of the gravity of the situation, but because it is our last call. And afterwards, I will have my ever present words of wisdom for everyone as we are entering our run up to All Hallows Eve, as we're entering this first week of Hallows month. Our last caller, and I really, really thank this caller for calling, is available via a special transfer of energy. Much like myself, I am only here because I still have unfinished business after 125 years. I encourage everyone living within the sound of my voice to get your affairs in order. to go ahead and file that absentee ballot and make sure it is sent, to make sure one's tax preparer has one's correct documents for the coming April if one is American, or the next coming quarter if one is British. And if one is not English or American, I do not know how to advise you other than please call your attorney. Our last caller is now with us. If we will just listen to their wisdom. Ah, yes. Hello, Trip.
Hello, hello, hello. So this is a bit of a special engagement for me because this program is taking place in a year before I died. Huh? Huh? Huh?
Yes. Are you from the future?
I am a ghost. I will be born a year from today, and then I will die 65 years from that point. But here I am on your show, and it is great to see you.
That is utterly fascinating. Of all the ghosts and spirits I've met, I've never met one that had yet to be born.
Hmm. It's a little different, a little exciting.
So, will you tell us what happens 6 decades hence? Dare we question? Dare we
Oh,
dream?
I can't tell you, but let's just say
I know.
it's gonna be a little exciting, and you know what? Maybe you'll be glad you're already dead.
I am daily glad that I am already dead. My dear Trip, that's not news to me. But maybe you could give some, if I could beseech of you, to give some consolation to our viewers that are very much alive and might even be alive well into your life.
Well, if you're an Arsenal fan, you've got a lot to look forward to.
Oh,
If
yes. So thrilled with the football results every time they're brought to my attention. But yes, I'm sure you've brought the warmth to the cockles of some sad football fan's heart.
Now, if you're a fan of the sunny, clear blue sky, enjoy it while it lasts.
Oh, because of the pollution is taking away all of our
Uh,
beautiful vistas.
I've said too much.
Well, I believe it already has a little bit of a leg up on the situation. Well, Trip, if you come here as a harbinger of good or bad news, I welcome any sort of insight you have. What
Well,
did you have a problem that you wanted to address?
no, you are a celebrity in the future, and okay, I do have a problem, a little pet thing. You are a celebrity from my time, and I wanted to come back to meet you in your prime.
In my prime, before I'm past it, before I've wandered into irrelevance.
Well,
Well,
move on to things beyond an advice calling program.
interesting. I had no idea there was a career change on the horizon. No, tell me, Trip. Yeah, my mind is full of boundless questions. But if you do, you have any problems you would like me to help you with, or not? Or are you completely reconciled?
No, I am starstruck. I have problems, but I am starstruck. Like right now, I cannot think. Just, just you're talking to me right now.
Yes, I am talking to you right now, and things are coming sharply into focus. I
Okay.
see that you are a spirit to be born in the coming year, and you will live a full and fruitful life,
Mm-hmm.
and you have come back in time just to say howdy do to me.
That is
Is that the nub of your gist?
that is exactly it.
Well, I thank you so much, and I'll be very happy to send you a ghostly spectral autograph. And I would be happy to send you a little bit of a personal message, if I may. Let my producer have your details once you get off the line. This
That
has
would
been a very interesting evening, Trip. I am happy to conclude it with you as well.
no. The pleasure is all mine. Uh,
Oh, of course it
I
is.
should be going. I do look forward to meeting you again in your future.
Yes, in both of our futures and your past. And I'm so confused with this time travel thing. This is absolutely absurd. I've never.
Farewell.
Farewell, farewell, Trip. Have a pleasant trip. Yes, The timelines are very confused this evening, and the spirits from all different epochs are very restless. Apparently, we are to have hope for the future, but not too much. If only we would take as much care for the planet and ourselves as we do for the levels of our bank accounts. But I would beseech you, and everyone within the sound of my voice, to reach out and touch someone while thou art still corporeal in some sense, to give them a hug if you are not prohibited by local laws or restrictions, and to drink wine very deeply, and in chocolate very richly, and play Twister until the break of dawn, and as long as your spine allows you to. I'm not here to create a philosophy, I'm here to create a revolution. Thank you very much for entering the darkness with me tonight. I've been Lady Gwendolyn Williams Smythe saying, stay illuminated. Good evening.
If ever there was a ghost to interact with from the great beyond, Lady Gwendolyn Williams Smythe was it. She answered all of the burning questions. But the great news is that tonight isn't the last night of the festival. It goes on all month, every night at 10 o'clock on popupimprov.com. They, in fact, are the sponsors of this fantastic festival. I'd also like to thank Robin Stegman for producing this festival. And if you are interested in more details about more shows, you can check out latenightscaries.com. Until tomorrow night, kiddos.